I recently got my hands on a product called the P5MATE, and this thing is pretty interesting. It allows you to play PS5 games using any controller of your choice. For example, you can use an Xbox Series X controller, and in real time, it converts the inputs from the Xbox controller to the PS5. But it gets cooler than that. It also lets you use any mouse and keyboard adapter like the Matrix, the Striker Pro, or the Cronus Zen on your PS5. These are their claims and a lot of their promotional material. They also have an official built-in chip that's supposed to be safe and reliable. So in today's video, we're gonna see if this device is actually worth its $69 price tag. Now that we have set the stage, let's take a closer look at the device itself. After unpacking it, you're greeted with the P5MATE, two USB Type-C cables, and a USB Type-A to Type-A cable. The device seems to be made out of an ABS plastic. On the top, you have a USB Type-A port, which you use to connect to your console. And on the bottom, you have another USB Type-A port for connecting to controllers or other devices. There's also an external USB Type-C port on the right-hand side for external power. And they even included a 3.5mm headphone jack for wired headphones. There's a small LED light on the top of the device that indicates when the device is on and working. But here's my first problem. There's no real manual. It comes with a QR code that leads you to the forums, where there's like one person asking a question and the rest is in Chinese. There's no physical manual, so I wasn't sure how to hook it up properly. I had to go back to the email they sent me and check their website for a setup video. Thankfully, they did a decent job explaining how to set it up in their video. Setting it up is actually pretty simple. First, plug the P5MATE into your PlayStation, then connect the controller of your choice to the P5MATE. After that, just press the home button and the PlayStation should detect the controller. For adapters, it's pretty much the same process. Plug the P5MATE into your console, connect the adapter to the P5MATE, wait for the adapter to boot up, then plug your controller into the adapter. I find that if you do it the wrong order, or plug everything in at once, the device might not detect anything at all, and you just have to restart over. I recommend just plugging one thing in at a time. It probably gives time for the built-in CPU to recognize what's getting plugged in and to start the process of setting it up and imitating the PS5 controller. Now that we have covered the setup, let's talk about the devices I tested on the P5MATE. They advertise compatibility with several adapters. And while I don't have them all, I do have a few. The Zen Matrix, a Switch controller, an Xbox One and Series X controller, a Titan device, though not the one they have listed. I have the Titan 1. The Titan 2 is just a simplistic version of the Titan 1. I decided to test the controllers first since they're supposed to be plug and play. After some fiddling with the adapter, I got it to work. I was able to play Fortnite and Rainbow Six Siege on my PS5 using my Xbox Series X controller, which was pretty funny. I also tested the Switch controller and that worked too. I was super surprised because I was expecting some sort of issues, but everything worked fine. However, I did come across a minor problem with games like Rainbow Six Siege and Valorant. The P5MATE had trouble translating certain features like the PS5 trackpad for other controllers. A quick restart of the device fixed this issue for now, but this is something you should be aware of if you look into buying this device. As for delay, I didn't really feel any. My monitor is capped at 60 Hz because I'm using an Elgato HD60, so my setup is limited to the Elgato's pass-through rate. Your experience might vary depending on your setup, but for me, the delay was minor and I felt great using an Xbox controller on a PS5. Next, I tested mouse and keyboard adapters. I had two from their list, starting with the Matrix. I got it working by plugging the Xbox controller into the Matrix while having it plugged into the P5MATE. It worked flawlessly. Later, I realized you can just plug in a PS5 controller and it worked as well. So no more needing to hook up the Matrix through an internet cable and using Sony's Remote Play. If you have the P5MATE, that's no longer necessary. However, I did get banned on Valorant. As you all said, I finally got banned on Valorant. If you can believe that. They give me a ban. Though I wasn't sure if it was because I wasn't using Sony's remote play or the game finally caught up to me, Valorant detected my mouse and keyboard adapter, so my account is currently under review. But I decided to create a new PS5 account and call it I Got Banned on Val. Jumped right back into testing. I wanted to test the Titan 1, but I couldn't find it. So I moved on to other adapters, like the Striker Pro. Worked right away after tweaking some settings, and I played a few matches of Rainbow Six Siege with no issues. The aimzenix monster adapter also worked flawlessly. Unfortunately, the cheaper mouse and keyboard adapters like the aimzenix adapter and the Mixmaster didn't work with the P5MATE. I also tested the Strike Pack Horizon and the Strike Pack Classic, but neither one was detected by the P5MATE. For fun, I even tested the Xbox 360 controller and the PS3, but neither one worked. So in summary, the P5MATE lives up to their claims. It's truly plug and play. You can use an Xbox or Switch controller on your PS5, and the higher end mouse and keyboard adapters work without remote play with no noticeable delay. On the downside, it doesn't support the strike packs or the cheaper mouse and keyboard adapters. And you will get detected by Rainbow Six Siege's mousetrap or Valorant's anti-cheat if you use it specifically for these games. Now for my final thoughts on the P5MATE. If you're planning on buying this to use different controllers on your PS5, then this device is definitely worth considering. The ability to play PS5 games with an Xbox controller or a Switch controller without any noticeable lag is really cool, especially for the people who prefer the feel of these controllers over the PS5 DualSense. However, if you're planning on using this device mainly for a mouse and keyboard gameplay on the PS5, I'll say it's a bit of a mixed bag. It works well with high-end adapters like the Matrix, but cheaper adapters and more niche products like the Strike Pack just don't work. And if you're planning to play games with aggressive anti-cheat software like Valorant or Rainbow Six Siege, beware that this could lead to a ban. Overall, for $69, the P5MATE is a solid option for someone trying to expand the range of controllers and adapters they can use on their PS5. Whether if it's worth it for you depends on your specific needs and use cases. But personally, I had a lot of fun testing it out. It's definitely brought some unexpected laughs, like using an Xbox controller on my PS5 and completely forgetting what console I was playing on. At the end of the day, it's a quirky device that does what it promises for the most part. And if you're someone who likes playing with different setups or just prefers a non-PS5 controller, it's definitely worth taking a look. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys have a good one, and feel free to like and subscribe and leave some comments.